Exacto, pero...
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Dead Air, a horror podcast.
Brought to you by Big Baby Studios.
Hello and welcome to this episode of Dead Air, a horror podcast. My name is Chris Costello, and for this podcast, I call myself a horror fanatic. What that means is I'm not an expert, but I'm really crazy about the genre. And I'm joined by two of my co-hosts. Please introduce yourself.
So my name is Aaron. I am the fan, meaning, I enjoy the horror films for how they make me feel, but I don't really delve deep into the theory and all the technicals of film because I ain't a film person. I'm just an enjoyer. I just passively take it and make comments. And whether or not I enjoy it, I have something to say. But I know someone who actually does not enjoy horror films at all, yet he is here.
First of all, thank you, passive-aggressive co-host. I am Miguel. I am one of the other hosts. I know I keep saying this. At the beginning, we started as me as the scaredy cat, but now I'm fine. I can watch horror films.
Now I'm fine.
So that's us, and we're here to introduce our next guest. He's a good friend. I'm really happy to have him on the show. He's actually one of the very first people I ever thought of inviting on. I'm so happy that he's on, not just because he agreed, but because he chose a really awesome film for us to discuss.
Ooh.
He's a writer and he's a film critic. So let's say hello to Mr. Philbert Dy.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Happy to be here, I guess.
Yay.
I guess. So much fun.
I'm keeping up the brand,
Yes.
Exactly. We get it.
To maintain.
This is definitely.
But deep inside, you're thrilled.
You can see it. You can see it on his face, though. He's so happy to be here.
He's jumping up and down, like clapping
Guys,
and flailing
I know this
his
is a
arms.
podcast, but just to describe the scene, feels like rolling in grass. He's so happy to be with us.
Yeah.
Rolling in the grass. Like
Jumping
a
up
puppy.
and down.
Like a
yelling,
little puppy.
yay, dead air. That's what he's doing. But his mic's off. So.
Like hair, like hair.
Oh,
and
sorry,
makeup
I was
man.
on mute.
This is actually, you can tell that this is actually the best day of his year so far. It's so clear. Yeah, so far. It's going to be difficult to top this. Yeah. But yeah, speaking of that, this is actually our first podcast for our first episode for 2021. It's pretty awesome. I actually haven't seen you guys in quite a while.
Oh, you missed us.
I did indeed.
I haven't seen Philbert in like 11 years. So I actually met you a long time ago.
Wow.
I'd say 11 years.
Yeah. Well, 11 years. So it's been a while, everybody.
What event was that where you guys met at 11 years ago?
know.
Was that Cubao Expo? I don't know.
Most likely Magnet, no?
Probably.
Probably Magnet. So.
Not even Mogwai, or I guess Magnet. That dates all of us in this pod.
I know.
It does.
Magnet BGC. That's been gone for a while.
Rest in peace. R.I.P. But so thanks everyone. So nice to see you all again.
Yeah.
And so nice to see you, Phil.
Sure.
Yeah.
Nice to see you, Chris.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, let's get this thing going.
Let's get this thing going. Okay. Awesome. Thank you for coming on, Phil. One of the first questions we ask for our guests on the pod is what was your horror origin story? We're really interested in hearing how you discovered the genre in any form it came in.
So I was a kid in the 80s, and like every 80s kid, we were taken out to video rental stores. And horror films have amazing covers. So I don't know if I can tell you what my first horror film was. I can tell you that, it was probably Ghostbusters, like every other kid my age. If you count that as a horror movie. But yes, they were fighting ghosts. But it wasn't long after that it was The Nightmare on Elm Streets. And I think the first horror film that I really thought like, oh, this is incredible was The Thing, was John Carpenter's The Thing.
Oh
Oh, man. I have
yeah.
to watch that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Chris has mentioned it so many times.
There's a
I
scene
know.
where a head falls off and then like spider legs come out of the head. And I was like, oh, this is the greatest movie of all time.
Wow.
It's very
All right,
close
I'll
to
get
my
on it.
experience of that movie.
Yeah,
How when you say long ago, like how old were you when you
No,
first
I-
discovered it? Like really young or
Really
preteen?
young. Too young to be watching horror
Yeah.
movies.
Mhm.
But yeah, your parents leave you alone and the Betamax is there.
Oh yeah,
Mm.
You're gonna watch everything. Yeah.
that's really funny when you say I never really thought of that. Yeah, the covers are so enticing. Like one of the very first horror films I saw was the Stuff. Have you heard of that? Stuff.
No, I don't know.
It's like this really old, like really like I don't know if it's 60s or 70s movie about like it's just like a giant blob that just goes bigger and bigger and bigger. It's like green and stuff, and it's fantastic cover art. And I think you hit the nail on the head. Like when you see all this like really intricate, creepy ass art on VHS. Actually, for my part, it's more Betamax. Actually,
Yeah.
Now
it
that's
was
really
Betamax for me
dating.
too.
That's really dating myself. As you can hear,
were-
my
they
co-host
came
is
out at-
giggling because
They
she
came
never
out
started
at the same
with
time, Chris. They came out at the same time. It's just that one was chosen over the other.
Yes, absolutely. We had a bunch of we had a very nice video rental store, and it was that shelf that I'd always go to. It's the thrillers, the horror. It's just the covers are so great. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. So what aside from The Thing, what other seminal horror films do you watch when you were young?
I don't know. I watched everything. It's really whenever I think back to that era, there are just a few scenes that stick out to me. There's that one scene. So there is The Thing again. That head indelible. There's that one Nightmare on Elm Street where there's a deaf kid and then his hearing aid turns into Freddy Krueger's claws. I don't remember
Wow.
which one that is.
So
Yeah.
ridiculous.
The Carpenters, the Wes Cravens, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, of course, which isn't nearly as gory as people think it is. It's there. I really like Rosemary's Baby. I when I saw it, I think that may be one of the first films where I thought, oh, this is what art horror is.
It was the dream sequence, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then but I don't watch that movie anymore.
Yes, because yes, of course.
Why?
Because of
It's
the director.
Roman Polanski,
Yeah.
Oh.
the convicted rapist.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's hard. It's very hard. That's a very one of the big topics in enjoying art is like how you separate the creator from the work of art. And it's really difficult.
My
You
approach
can't
is-
talaga eh. Yeah.
No, well,
Go ahead,
my
Phil.
approach is that like I don't have to cling to old filmmakers because there are new films.
Yes,
A
Love it.
lot. I like
Love
that philosophy. I like it.
Yeah.
Out with the old, in with the new.
I
good,
like
it's
that. I absolutely like that as well. I
Really,
do-
Aaron, even
What?
some young filmmakers now.
Oh, I know where
You know
I was
what?
going.
Here's the thing.
you're into whatever work you're doing now.
Here's the thing. If you are really a good filmmaker, then your learning never stops and you can only get better. So if you're young,
Yeah.
you can learn more and get
Grabe.
better.
Yeah.
Right?
Labas sa ilong.
Yes.
All right. I'll take that.
See?
Oh,
See?
But genuinely, when I saw Hereditary, I thought, okay, I don't need to watch Rosemary's Baby anymore.
Mhm.
It's the same
Ah,
Sure.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah. So you say you'll never watch Rosemary's again?
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's there.
I get it.
It
I
exists,
totally get it.
yeah.
I totally get it. I must admit I would have a hard time doing that, even though I absolutely 100% agree with your sentiment. I would have a hard time not watching
Yeah.
classics.
Mm.
But yeah.
Even like Woody Allen stuff, parang
Yeah, well, Woody Allen,
Yeah, like-
that one I've stopped.
Lol.
especially when the stuff came out, and then when you rewatch his other stuff, parang
Creepy
shit,
as fuck, dude.
parang creepy talaga from the parang this guy's been telegraphing his intent
Yeah,
for a while
ever
now.
since. It's just so repetitive, his themes. Anyway.
Well, real life
his
horror
themes,
doesn't
I meant like his themes of like just wanting
Yeah.
young women. It's just crazy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Thank God we have
Creepy.
fictional horror
Yeah. Anyway.
that helps us
So
deal with
let's-
real horror.
Exactly. What a perfect segue there. Baby. So now we're there. Phil, what
Okay.
movie did you bring for us today, and why did you choose it?
Yeah, I picked 2005's The Descent, directed by Neil Marshall. I chose it because I think there is actually like a feeling now, a sense that like it is considered one of the best horror films of the 2000s. Like it's become like kind of a modern classic among devotees of the genre. But I just chose it because I really like that film. I remember seeing it all in the theaters when it first came out here, not knowing anything about it, not knowing that Neil Marshall directed it, and getting excited when I saw his name. And also, I remember I just have such a strong memory of that experience.
Sorry to interrupt you. Why were you excited to see his name? Was it because of Dog Soldiers?
Yeah, what did you know him
Because
for?
of Dog Soldiers. Because of Dog Soldiers. Because like, okay, this isn't going to be... Because like we were... I was with my girlfriend and we were just like looking for some film to watch. And we generally thought it was going to be like, a very standard like horror movie with... around that time, we get a lot of horror movies in the Philippines, a lot of low budget stuff. Yeah. A lot of it the same. A lot of it like just really low budget, boring kind of like, I shocked you kind of deals. Yeah. And then I remember also there were a group of like Korean boys who were watching it in the theater, and they were really rowdy at the start, and then when things started happening, I heard a scream, and then like after like a point, they were just quiet for the entire movie.
Yeah, I totally get that reaction.
This is really such a good movie.
It's not.
It's just such a good movie and a great example of what the genre can do, I think.
Fantastic.
Agreed.
I'm so happy you chose this. I'm telling you, I've been talking about this film internally to everyone here ever since we started.
Yeah, it's my first time seeing it.
Yeah, and so that's another perfect segue, by the way, because I wanted to ask Aaron to give us a quick summary about what the film is. And I wanted to do that because she watched the film today. And she gave us a running commentary on our group, and it was so much fun. Just hearing, just finding out what was going through her mind. So so why don't you give us a quick summary, Aaron?
All right. So the summary is there's this barkada of chicks, and it starts out with them rafting or something like that, and then they had to go home after they had fun. They had to go home, and then the husband of one of the girls, the blonde chick, what's her name? Sarah. Okay.
Yeah.
The husband of Sarah picks them up with the kids, and like they're on their way back. And he's acting kind of weird. And then they get into an accident and he dies because sharp objects just go through his head and kill him in a car.
So, in a car accident.
In a car accident. So her whole family's dead except her. And that's the start of the movie. Wow, that's the beginning. Yeah. Because the title comes in after all of that. After she's in the hospital, she finds out her whole family's dead. That's when the title comes in. So the barkada decides, we got to do something for Sarah. Why don't we do a little cave stuff? Let's do some caving. And then they're like, let's go. It's a big, fun barkada caving thing. But then they have some pasaway feeling tigas girls in the group that are like, that's the tourist cave. We don't want to go there. We want to do some adventure. And so the leader, Juno, who's super hot, she was like, all right, we're going to do these caves. And then they go through a cave and find out pala that Juno has been taking them on this adventure in an unvisited, undiscovered cave because she wanted this discovery for all of them. And then because they don't know the way, they don't have the book, they don't have the map or anything like that, they get lost. And the first instance of horror that I see is when Sarah gets stuck. They have to go through this really thin, narrow, like tunnel.
Hole.
This hole, as in your whole body is just squeezed into that hole. And Sarah gets stuck and she can't move and she's panicking. So they're like, it's okay. It's fine. How do you get a lemon to orgasm? I don't understand why she had to make that joke, but whatever. Tickle the citrus. And then the cave caves in. And then they find out, oh shit, we don't know where to go. So all this weird stuff happens. Like they don't know the way. They find old rappelling, climbing shit everywhere. And they're like, what the hell? So they're trying to find a way out. And then suddenly, these creatures are in the cave. That one totally caught me off guard. I was like, all
Did
right,
you
this
not
is
know
already
it was a
horror.
monster movie?
No, I thought
didn't
it was.
notice,
I thought it was a caving, like
nature horror.
127 hours
Yeah,
type of
Yeah.
cut off the arm kind of thing. That's what I thought was gonna happen.
That was the best part of when you were like messaging us today when you're like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? Isn't real life horror enough? Why are these monsters here?
I was even sending voice notes when the monster starts growling at them. I was like, what the fuck is this, man? As if this caving nightmare isn't bad enough. So, I mean, I don't want to spoil it for everyone, but it turns to shit basically. And we find out that Sarah's friend Juno has not only been sleeping with the husband who is dead, but they fell in love. Juno was a bitch.
Which is worse.
She's bad. I thought she was tigas and she was so cool killing the monsters. She's a bitch to her friend.
Well,
So-
we'll get to that later, but justice
Yeah.
for Juno. But
No.
hashtag justice
may
for
mga,
Juno.
may mga
Juno
team
rules.
Juno, may mga hindi. Yeah.
Thank you for that. That was a really, really good summary that kind of
Yeah.
approximated yung feeling namin when you were messaging us today. I think
Yeah.
it's perfect the way that you explained it because I think jumping into this with blind is really the best way to watch
Yeah.
the film.
I knew
think that's
nothing.
that's how you experienced it. I know that's how you experienced it, Phil. That's how
Yeah,
I
yeah.
experienced it as well. Like I just thought I really thought it was like some sort of nature horror thing. They get lost, they get trapped, and they probably like, turn on each other, some Lord of the Flies shit, and then try to, survive. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? How about for you, Miguel? Like, because you kind of knew it was a monster movie. How did that take away? Did that surprise take away from your enjoyment?
I feel it might have. Like, I know you've discussed this movie before, and as is my habit, I cannot, as the resident scaredy cat, once in a while, I'd Wikipedia the movie's plot before getting into it, just to gauge.
Boo.
All right. I know. I deserve it. I deserve any loss of joy that I get. What I'm saying, parang it just like, just to ready myself. So I did not Wikipedia this, but I knew for some reason that it was a monster movie. So I was waiting for that to happen. But I didn't realize still, I forgot the fact that they were also in caves, which just adds another layer of like, parang caves being underground, small dark spaces are enough to freak me out. And then meron pang dagdag. May monster pa.
I know.
So, yeah. Like parang, and then when I was watching it, I was appreciating it for the other stuff. Like, oh shit, it's like a, women dynamic, women friendships, relationships thing, and other stuff. I guess we'll... Wait, actually, which leads me to my question to Phil, and maybe Chris can also pitch in. Like parang you chose this film, Phil, because you said it's one of the more seminal or one of the more important movies of the genre in the past decade. What makes this movie that? Like, what did it change, or how did it redirect the genre, or how did it reform our understanding of the genre for you?
If we're talking about it in those terms, that's a little more complicated. Although because
okay.
it's
I can handle.
I don't
Just kidding.
no I
Go
don't
ahead.
know I don't know like its specific influence on other filmmakers. I know filmmakers love it. I know I know that they're like they really get down into the technical details of it, how it was shot. It's all on set and stuff.
Okay.
But even when you look at the discussion about this film online, a lot of it is about that, about how this isn't just a film that has a final girl. It is a film that doesn't just have a strong female protagonist. All of its characters are females. It passes the Bechdel test in 10 minutes. And in 10 minutes, there are no more male characters after a point. And it's just women. And they're all strong, they're all capable. We see them all dealing with these. I mean, they have interpersonal problems. It's not like they're not all just saints. It's all that feels important. It feels like when people look back at the decade of horror, they're gonna see this film stand out just for the most simple thing, which is just having female characters as its leads.
Yes, totally agree. Cool. I think I my experience with the Descent is I was a huge fan of horror growing up. I kind of lost interest after a while. maybe in my like late teens, early 20s, and then The Ring came in, reignited my fire for my love for the genre, and then it kind of petered out after a while when everything was just Asian horror, and then this came along. I saw this much later. I thought maybe about 2 or 3 years after it came out, so like 2007, 2008. And it just blew me away, and I just fell right back in love with the genre. And it's because for me, because it's like it's all of that. Like besides being so scary and so tightly constructed, it was really the characterization of the characters for me that really made it special. Like all of the women. Well, aside from the fact that all women, that in itself is like it's just so different. And then I just really appreciated it. It's just I really loved how they were written, like, and then like all the characters were really true to how they are, like there was Sarah.
Si pasaway.
There's Sarah who's like driven by fear, diba? Like she was just like she's just like, I have to conquer this fear after my family died, and then she's being told like, the worst thing happened to you, you have nothing to fear anymore. So she's like, fuck it, okay, so I'll just be strong. And then you've got Juno who's like the daredevil. And then she wants to take risks, and so she all her decisions are very risky, So it's very consistent. And you have like the young one of the sisters,
Holly,
the med student. She's the one who diagnoses what they're fighting, because she's like because she has the science background, so she's the one. So it's really cool how they did that. And then even with who's her best friend? Was it Beth?
Beth, yeah.
Yeah, like I loved her relationship with Sarah. Like her whole thing was being protective over Sarah, and that really carried out throughout all her actions in the film. So that's why I love about this movie is the fact that everyone had a purpose. They weren't just cannon fodder. Because like for example, like when you see a large group in a horror film, you're like, okay, they're gonna get picked off one by one.
Yeah.
So who's the cannon fodder, who's gonna die quickly. But I felt like all of them were really well written, and it just added so much more texture to the film itself. Aside from it being scary, was the interpersonal relationships, which I really really enjoyed, especially that reveal about the Juno and her cheating on.
I got mad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was so pissed.
Yeah, it's something we should really discuss because it's an integral part of the film.
Yeah.
And I'm
What did you
interested
guys
in
feel
our
about that?
different reactions. Yeah.
Why? What's your
Sorry, go
reaction,
ahead.
Miguel?
And obviously I'm not gonna say this is canon, or I'm not gonna say my feelings are right about this, but I had some sympathy for Juno. Like, yes, in many ways she's a selfish person and makasarili, which is something I despise. But also, it didn't seem like it was a fling. It seemed like his death of her best friend's husband's death, who she was having an affair with, also marked her. Like, she also has a line. She also had a line that she said to one of the other friends, like,
We all lost something that day.
yeah, we all lost something. Yeah, we all lost something that day. Yeah. So it was obviously she was also affected, and even the way she lived out her life after that, but was also a reflection of her loss at that point. I'm not overly siding with this adulteress.
Adulteress.
I'm not, but I just feel some sympathy, even when she accidentally does that other thing. Like,
It's
I don't
okay.
want
We can spoil it.
Yeah, when she accidentally puts a
Kills
pickaxe through, kills the other kabarkada because she was taken by surprise. She didn't do it on purpose. She was just like, right before that, she had a badass moment killing off all these monsters. And then she got caught by surprise, turned around, and out of a reflex, killed her friend. Which was a
That moment
super
was
sad
incredible.
It was incredible.
moment.
Yeah.
And how the reckoning happened later on was also incredible. Like, that friend survived and not long enough to tell Sarah Sarah about Juno. That's how it closes that loop. But it was like for a horror, parang in this movie was horrifying. There were monsters. It was claustrophobic. Parang there's this moment of genuine humanity na parang, oh my God, not only are they battling these monsters, they're also, battling their parang meron ng human element, and they were also like figuring out their emotions and how they were feeling about each other. Galing din.
How about
All
on
right, I
the flip
appreciate
side,
this movie.
Aaron? How about
Yeah,
you?
go on, Aaron.
How do you enjoy
Anti-Juno.
Juno's
Yeah.
Juno's character?
Me?
Yeah.
Bad friend.
Go for it.
Bad friend. That's my comment. Bad. And even this Beth. Hi, you knew this whole time and you didn't tell Sarah? Bad. You guys are like, dude, fuck.
They have issues. As a
Yeah. Kasi for me, if that happened, get rid of the guy.
Ah.
He's bad. Like, I know he died, right? But I mean, be mad at him too. You know what I mean? See Sarah.
No, but I think Beth caught it during the parang she only realized it yata during the
When she
white
grabbed
walk, like the day he
thing,
died.
the rafting. Yeah.
Yeah.
the day he
Parang
died.
dun lang niya.
All right.
Yeah, that's how I read it. That's how I read it. I'm not sure.
How about you,
It's
Phil?
very good.
What's your take on the whole Juno situation? Because because there was a really big decision point that was made towards the end that kind of brings this whole thing together now. So was that justified, or what are your feelings on that?
I mean, I think I think of it in how it serves the story, and it really does serve the story well. This whole thing is really a journey to Sarah's journey into madness. It's her going, deciding like in order to survive, she has to ruthless. To go crazy. She has to be ruthless. She literally has to be crazy. This is how this movie ends, with her trying to cope with her terrible situation by escaping into a fantasy. But no, the thing is, like, I really love Juno as a character.
I love Juno.
I love her.
I love her, but she's so flawed. I mean, like, let's not take that away from the. So I agree with you there, Aaron. No, but I love Juno as a character. She's so well written.
She's so and like it's awesome that she's like not white.
Yes,
she's Filipino.
Like, that's just a thing. And Natalie Mendoza is half Filipino, half.
Yeah.
That the whole thing is like you realize throughout the movie that like Juno is doing the wrong thing all the time. Like she is leading them down a bad path.
Yep.
But I still like her, and you know that's the kind. I guess like if I knew her in real life, I wouldn't like her. But in the function of a movie,
yes, exactly.
She feels real, but also even as she leads them down this terrible path.
Yeah.
But why I said in a hashtag justice for Juno is because also like at the very end, you know, like she refused to leave without Sarah, so she had her own redemption moment. Which ultimately doesn't work out well for her,
right?
But you know, that's why it's like so amazing because like how
spoilers for The Descent 2, Chris. There's
I know
there's stuff.
Just say it.
The Descent 2 never happened, Phil. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
So wait, so both of you so you guys dislike it?
The Descent 2?
Yeah, it's like it.
There are things about it that are good, but its existence is bad.
Its existence is bad because it kind of
negates the whole
one. Yes.
That sucks. So it's like the Rise of the what's that bad Star Wars movie that negates Last
Rise
Jedi?
of Skywalker.
Sorry. Shout out to all the people who are with me on that.
Yeah, so there is the Descent 2 and Juno is still alive at the beginning.
Yeah, I read about that.
So yeah. But
galing nga ni Juno, sorry, not to overshadow Sarah, who's also a great character.
Yes.
And not to overshadow all the... Yeah, parang si Juno nga is such a flawed... Like, she's so human. Like, parang she's something... She's so lived in. I can totally believe a person like her exists. And I can totally believe being a friend with that sort of person and also being so mad at a person like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I get it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's...
all right. Yun lang.
See, I just feel so bad for her. I wanted because this film is difficult for me because it's one of my all-time favorite horror films. Absolutely no question. But like, spoiler again, the film is incredibly bleak. Like it's so bleak. At some points you want like a few wins, you know, like just give me one win. You know what I mean? Like, and it's just so bleak. Like no one gets any.
You know,
happy ending.
didn't see it that way so much.
Sure.
Oh, go Aaron.
Because parang, I don't know, the way it ended, I know she's like stuck and shit like that. But it's you root for her kasi like you realize how strong she's gotten after everything that she's done, and then she just got more and more, and she's the only survivor, and then diba it zooms out and she's all alone, and parang she's just like ready for stuff. I got that.
You can kind of I totally get that reading of it too, that like she's just like at the point where like, no, I'm still gonna continue, I'm not giving up. You know,
as in throw anything at me now because I'm fucking ready. That's how I got it. Like, okay,
that's a very
she
positive
will
reading
survive.
of that film, and I like that because for me, my reading is so pessimistic, so it's so hard for me to watch because I feel so bad for her. Like this film, like Miguel, when he finished watching it, he just messaged us saying, "So uplifting."
No, but so I have a soft spot for movies that end badly for everybody. Like parang, parang any movie that totally erases hope. And there's a part of me that, oh damn, that was so good. That movie was so painful to watch, so good. But I'm one of those people who like stepping up to the edge of an abyss and just looking in. And parang that's the kind of movie that is. Parang you have to deal with that sort of thing once in a while. Na parang puta, there's no way out. Anyway,
I'm genuinely not sure if I'm not sure if it's horror. I'm not sure it's horror if it has a happy ending. It's I feel like some of it there has to be. I mean, that's why like a lot of bad horror movies end with a happy ending, but then at the very end there's a stinger where there's like, the ghost is actually still there. The monster it comes out of the grave. I think it's more honest to just have a horror movie that ends like, no, nobody won. We lost.
With all your hopes and dreams dashed. Like Cabin in the Woods, guys. That's why I love that movie.
So I watched this film again the other day because I have a Blu-ray copy. It's the first time I ever opened my copy to watch it. There's a reason why I'm mentioning it. It's because at the end I was like, God, it's such an incredible movie. I still love it so much. And then it's still so bleak and affecting. Yeah. So I scrolled to the special features, and then there was a blooper reel, and I was like, "What?"
Of the descent.
Of the descent, and then like all
what a great antidote.
All their flubs and like all their mistakes, and that's why I also said that video of the creature like dancing.
Yeah,
because you're just like. Okay, so it's just a movie, guys, and then like it takes you out of that depressing world, and you realize that the actors are still safe, they're fine. They even showed literally the last shot of how they made it with the little girl with the cake, and then how they pulled out,
and they
grabbed the girl out, and they call cut, and the little girl is still there. It's really incredible. I mean, I don't if I had saw that immediately after I saw The Descent the first time, I'd be like, it's horrible. I didn't want to see this. It takes me out of my experience. But like watching it again, when I kind of, it's 2020 and I need a little hope in my life. it was a nice surprise. So I recommend checking out the blooper reel for The Descent.
I hope it's on YouTube. I'll look for it on YouTube.
Yeah, I probably. But I like that. I like the way it ended. Because parang the feeling I got from Sarah was parang, sige pa, like that. Like, parang,
That's actually interesting because part of what I like about this movie is that the monsters aren't actually the villains. Like the monsters are threats, certainly, but like it's the humans that have invaded their home.
Yeah,
it's their interpersonal relationships that are actually putting them in danger. Because as we see, they are capable women who can beat up these cave monsters.
Yeah, or their pride also got them into the situation. Oh nga.
Yeah,
nagulat ako na if one thing if the fact that this was a monster movie didn't surprise me. What surprised me was that ang dami pala ng monsters. Like you think it's just one creature. Like, fuck, dami pala. Oh my God, there's a lot. What again?
That first shot when they showed the monster when it was like super far away.
Yeah.
I was like,
so
what the fuck is this shit? That's the point when I was like, what the fuck? Dude.
Apparently, correct me if I'm wrong, Phil and Chris, but if I remember the IMDb, but I think even the women didn't know until that, like the actors didn't know until that point.
I did not.
I read that.
That it was a monster movie. Like they thought they were in a psychological. I don't know if I'm right,
I know.
but it's on IMDb.
What I read
go.
was
Wow, I had no
they
idea.
did not show the actors what the creatures look like, so that
Yes,
when they
yes.
see them, it's a
more
genuine
terrifying.
reaction.
Sure.
Yeah. And that was that shot talaga yung from afar and lit by the headlamp lang. Galing yan. Galing din yun. All right, I love this movie.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I'm so happy you said that, even
It's
though you
been
probably
decided.
don't mean it.
I mean, I enjoyed it. I appreciate it a lot is what I mean. Galing nga.
Yeah. So Phil, what I really want, one of the few questions I really want to ask you, because horror in general gets a really bad rap. They don't. I think a lot of people don't really legitimize it. People mocked Get Out when it was nominated for the Oscar.
Aw.
A whole bunch of stuff. You know what I mean? So you are one of the very few film critics that I know is really in love with the genre. Is that rare?
That's not true. I think I think horror fans do have this inferiority complex, this persecution complex.
Absolutely, I do.
Yeah.
For sure.
But horror is well regarded. It's just not generally awarded things.
Sure.
But so wait, what's the question really?
No, what my question was, well, you kind of negated the question because you said that it's not really a thing. But my real question was really are you is this rare for people in your profession to really enjoy the genre?
No, I mean if you I think there is a class of horror movie that doesn't get talked about, but they shouldn't be talked about because they're terrible. It's I've seen more horror movies probably than most people now because there was that point in Philippine cinema where every week they just released a new direct-to-video horror movie.
Sure.
And I saw all of those and I saw them and clearly there is a lot of horror movies are being made under this this assumption, under this umbrella of productions that are just they cost very little. You can put interesting box art on them and then people are gonna see them. And a lot of those films are terrible. There are some gems in there, but for the most part, you shouldn't. They don't merit talking about. Horror is in a new place now. And a lot of the same people. I mean, I am now of the generation that grew up on renting video, right? And we're all of the age now where we are leading the discussion on horror. So all of us who grew up with in the States Blockbuster here, ACA, we're all talking about how great John Carpenter was. John Carpenter is revered now. Wes Craven is revered. Even Toby Hooper,
yes, absolutely.
Even Toby Hooper, even Stuart Gordon has a real following, and he doesn't make a class of film that would ever be talked about in high critical circles. But there is a critical reckoning with these films, with the craft that goes into them. And now we have kids like Ari Aster and all
Robert
these
Eggers.
Robert Eggers, these respectable horror directors. And I think the funniest thing I've heard is there are horror fans who resent this high art horror thing because they feel like horror was better when it was hidden. Yeah, better. It's the horror that they connect to isn't this artsy, hereditary, Midsummer kind of deal. If you listen to enough horror podcasts, you'll run into these people, and it's really
we will run into these people. They're closer than you think.
Yeah, it's kind of to me it's infuriating. It's just there's all kinds of horror. You're allowed. They can be high, it can be low. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
I'm not saying it's not horror. I'm not. That's not my words. It's just a preference thing.
It's just
a
absolutely
preference.
a preference. Absolutely a preference.
Yeah, sure.
What's your preference though, Phil? Do you have one, or are you just blanket you just love the genre?
I just love good films.
Yeah.
I think if we get caught up in trying to define what is horror, what isn't horror, when we can just be talking about why you connect to a certain film. And that could be purely aesthetic, that could be technical, or it could be personal. And that's fine. That's all good.
Love it. Totally agree with you. What so you said originally that you were excited when you saw Neil Marshall's name. He's actually a very for me he's hit and miss. Like when he hits in horror, he really hits. But he's got his duds too. Like Dog Soldiers. The first time I saw Dog Soldiers, I saw The Descent on a laptop, on a shitty laptop, bad copy. But Dog Soldiers I saw in the cinemas just because I saw it was a werewolf film. And I was like, oh, this looks pretty cool. And then it just blew me away too, because it was just like one of those things where it's just not exactly what you expect at all.
Yeah,
it was scary. It was funny. That's kind of his signature, right? So
yeah.
And so when I made the connection that he also did The Descent, I was like, fuck, I love this guy. And then I followed his career for a long time, all the way up to Game of Thrones, and and then the
Hellboy,
the failed Hellboy, which I really did not enjoy.
Oh no.
But yeah, like what's your outlook on his career?
Well, yeah, I haven't liked his recent stuff. But you can always rely on him to I think the flaw with the Hellboy thing is that he got caught up in making a big VFX spectacle when that's really not what he does. Like what he does is, I think what he's really good at is like being given very few resources and then making something
working around it.
I feel like he actually works better when his budgets are lower. Like even stuff like Doomsday is terribly, terribly entertaining.
It is.
because maybe working on Game of Thrones was bad for him.
Yeah.
Even though his episodes are good. Even though his episodes are genuinely
these were good episodes.
Yeah.
He also did stuff pala for, sorry, I'm reading off his Wikipedia. He did stuff for Hannibal, Westworld, and Constantine. Yep. I mean,
he delivers. He's a good director.
He really does. And his next movie is going to be another, I think, back to basics horror, I think, from what I've been reading.
Yeah.
This is the Reckoning.
People are excited.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the Reckoning, Chris?
I think so, yeah. About the girl?
I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it also. All right, cool.
So I highly suggest, if you guys enjoy this film, definitely check out his earlier works, especially Dog Soldiers. That's another film that I really hope someone chooses.
So that we have an excuse to watch, diba, Miguel?
Exactly.
It's on my list now. It's on my list. It's on my. It's what they want to see.
So how about you guys, Miguel and Aaron? What do you think about like how? Because we've kind of delved into how like the story was really different. Like it went in so many different ways.
Daming nangyari. Exactly. That's another thing that I texted. I was like, what the fuck? Ang daming nangyayari dito. May cheating, may monsters, may bone snapping, just so much happening.
But it happens in a very orderly way.
Right.
In a very,
It's just overwhelming in general. I mean, okay, so as a girl, just picturing myself in that situation, I'm like, ino naman, dude. This is a lot. It is a lot. It is a lot. I did see myself in a bunch of the girls, though. It was very interesting for me to see a barkada of girls go through stuff like that. Because, barkadas do have drama similar to that. And parang I just felt bad that they didn't pull through. It's always a good feeling if the friends pull through, but no. Still good.
Was their relationship believable?
Yeah.
As friends?
Yeah, super believable. I really felt that they were long-time friends na magkabarkada. Because the way they were joking each other pa.
Right?
In the beginning.
That's what I thought.
With the pajamas.
With the pajamas, it was really well done.
Yeah.
Yeah, that scene in the cabin is one of the most economical pieces of storytelling I've ever seen.
Yes. Yeah, they went through so many like story beats or like character beats in that whole scene, like describing
I was gonna say
who's in med school, who's the Holly is the hothead.
Galing.
They established so much stuff. Yeah.
Galing yung word na economical. I'll be honest, like except for Juno, who's Asian, obviously, all the white girls slightly confused me, but they had especially when they were all covered up in dirt and blood na later on. But they were very, in the beginning, parang very distinct yung personalities, which I credit to a very good economical way of writing about them. And then, parang ganda nga nung setup, like there's 3 close friends and then there are two or three other women na bago and the dynamic changes a little. That's very believable in any relationships, especially I guess among women. And then what did I like about the movie? So I'm gonna go into why I like the movie.
Yes,
so it starts off as this like adventure thing. Like there's drama because they present tragic happening in the beginning, but it becomes this whole. But so aside from this, what eventually becomes a monster movie, it's also this emotional thing. Like so many things happen, and parang it's not just a journey of survival. It's also a journey. It's also an emotional journey for a lot of the characters. And then yun nga, favorite ko rin yung movies that totally take away your hope. Parang I always find myself relating to those movies. Like I always find myself like, what would I have done if I was in this movie? Like if I was this character, would I have fought on? Or would I have just like fucking eat me, guys? Like I'm dead now. Parang just kill me. Parang it's always like, so it's a great, even for me, it was I enjoyed that journey, that short journey in watching this movie. Yun lang.
So did it live up to my overhype?
You didn't hype it naman, but you got me interested, and parang I appreciated parang I appreciated how good a movie this was, and it made me interested in the director. So I'm looking up Dog Soldiers, and I'm actually even looking up his other period piece, yung Centurion. I have a soft spot for like these kind of movies.
Yeah, it's okay.
All right. I'm not even. I get the reaction that like the two talking heads like.
Chris and Phil started like bobbing their heads in the same direction.
I get it, guys. I get it. I'm not gonna keep my hopes up, but I get it.
Yeah, one of my favorite parts of last year was watching Quark go on kind of a horror discovery trip. And so he would watch a horror movie, and then he'd post about it on Letterboxd and on his Instagram stories. And the second he did The Descent, he was like blown away. And I was like, "Holy crap, you saw The Descent?" And he was like, "Yeah, I think I'm gonna watch it." And then I was like, "Just ignore the sequel. It never existed." But to be honest, I mean, like if you, I mean, it's not like horrible.
It's not a
just
bad
kind of,
movie.
It just kind of takes away from the emotional punch of the first one.
Boo! Why do that?
But if you want to see Juno again,
was it still? He just produced Descent 2.
Yeah, he didn't direct it.
Yeah. All right, got it.
There lies the mistake.
Ang ganda.
So we'll wrap up with the movie later on, but
all right,
maybe our usual segue from fictional horror to real life horror. Phil, how has your pandemic life been going?
I am now a scholar of Japanese cinema.
Ooh, what have you been watching?
I have watched every. I don't know if you've been following me on Twitter. Sometimes I've been posting little clips of like obscure Japanese films. But yeah, I went through the Kurosawas. I went through Masaki Kobayashi. I went through a lot of Ozu. I went through but like lately I've been getting into like these directors who did a lot of samurai films that aren't Kurosawa or Kobayashi. People like Hideo Gosha, Kenji Misumi. They made films that were kind of like not as highly regarded, not like not at the level of the masters, but like they made these really crazy, entertaining little samurai films. Yeah, that's mostly what I've been doing because what else can we do? I might as well
you can
learn the cinema of another.
Apparently, everyone's doing it.
Yeah. Well, Quark's actually been asking me, but I want it to be good.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Very valid.
It will be.
Yeah.
Very valid. If you were to start a podcast, what would it be? Like, would you concentrate on?
Would it be basically your Letterboxd?
Yeah,
in audio form.
I think there's already enough like film review podcasts out there. And there aren't enough films opening right now to even really talk about it in a way that's like specific. Like there aren't a lot of Filipino films being made. So I don't know why my voice is so important to add to like the conversation about Promising Young Woman, for example.
This is great.
I did pitch something to Quark. I don't know if he wants to do it, but I did pitch something. It's the podcast would be me interviewing filmmakers, basically as I create like this director's commentary for a film that's on streaming.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. So there.
It sounds awesome.
It does sound awesome.
Okay, I have
hope that
a
happens.
question. What's
Go, Aaron.
Letterboxd?
It's another platform where
It's
like
Goodreads.
Twitter?
Phil and
It's
Yeah.
Goodreads for movies.
Yeah, it's Goodreads.
Okay,
for
Goodreads
movies.
for
Yes,
movies.
yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
All right.
It's very nice. Very nice.
That's all.
If you guys are interested, add me. I have my list of my favorite horror films every year starting 2003, I think.
when
It's a
we all
very,
got into
very-
it, like
It's a very extensive list.
when we all got into it, like over a year ago, or late 2 years ago, parang nasipag ko pa eh. Then like after like a month or two, like okay na ako. Like I don't wanna.
Yeah.
Like I lost interest in like typing up something about a movie I just saw.
Yeah.
But
I
I'll read your
literally
stuff,
just do a list. I just do a top 10, top 12 list every single year. And it's nothing but horror.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of niche.
I am a niche.
But yeah, it's fun. It's fun. I enjoy it. I enjoy finding recommendations from.
Is it as good as building a community online? Not so much, no.
Not so good. No.
People don't call because that's like one of the powers of like a platform. Like if it's able to build parang Letterboxd is like there's like a follow, but you have the ability to follow people also and comment. But I don't know if it works as much as like
There's
a
no
Facebook
there's
post.
no messaging. There's no messaging. So
Yeah.
Oh,
I-
how about
it
comment?
keeps-
There's no messaging.
yeah, there's no
Yeah.
messaging, and comments are very limited as well.
Oh,
Okay.
really? Limited? Like how?
Like
They
there
limit
are,
you?
I mean, there aren't ways to tag
It's not
people in
threaded.
comments. For example,
Yeah. It's not
Yeah.
threaded. It's not. Yeah, I get it.
Sure. So aside from Japanese films, Phil, any other great horror films you've seen over the pandemic?
Let me think. Wait, I'm trying to remember the film. I'm trying to remember the name of the film. There was something.
Describe it.
Have you guys seen Relic?
No.
I love Relic so much.
Yeah, Relic kind of rules.
Oh, it's so good.
Okay.
I think it's my second favorite horror film this year. Last year.
Oh, this
Oh
year.
no,
Last year.
no, Aaron. Are we gonna watch Relic?
I know. I don't know. What was the first one, Chris? Last
I think
year?
his house. I think is my favorite.
Oh.
I didn't actually get to see that. But yeah,
I think his house.
I have.
Relic.
I have. Have you seen Freaky?
Oh, it's so fun! It's so fun.
Freaky
is so fun. It's Vince
got
Vaughn,
it.
Miguel. You'd love it.
all right.
It's basically Freaky Friday, but like a teenage girl swaps bodies with a serial killer.
Oh wow! I want to see
It's
that.
so fun.
Yeah.
It's so fun.
Is it slightly funny? Is it a bit funny
Yes,
also?
no, it's
Yeah.
a horror
okay,
comedy.
okay.
Oh,
All
right,
right,
Possessor.
down for-
Oh no,
rules.
Aaron, this is so your thing.
Possessor.
I'm telling you, this is so your thing.
You know
Freaky.
me.
I keep
You know
hearing
me.
about Possessor. Is that a thing I should be on?
Possessor. Well, it's awesome. It's beautiful, like even visually beautiful, Miguel. But I mean, it's
Great.
One of
I'll
those
watch
things
it on
where-
mute.
Yeah, you'll either like it or you'll hate it. I think it's one of those divisive movies.
Okay, yeah. I love that shit. I'll go into that.
So yeah, I haven't been
But
watching
freaky.
too many new
Okay.
movies. I think I think I've watched more old Japanese horror movies. Than, like I rewatched Houseu in last year. Nobuhiko Obayashi's Houseu. I don't know if you've seen that.
I haven't seen that. No.
Oh, you need to see it.
Let me write
Wait,
this
what is
down.
it? What is a Japanese horror we had to watch and we talked about also?
Noroi, the curse.
Noroi.
Noroi.
Have you seen that
Dodo's
film?
favorite film? Yeah. No, I've seen it.
It's good.
Oh my god, not a great
Not
experience. Not a, it's good, but
Freaky.
not. It's so scary.
Mm-mm.
House.
I hate it.
Yeah,
House.
House in English.
Got it.
Nobuhiko Obayashi is like a surrealist filmmaker who
Uh-huh.
made a bunch
My
of Japanese
God.
commercials. And was it Nikatsu? It might have been Nikatsu who asked him to make a horror film. And he was like, okay, but I'm going to do it my way. Okay. And he did it his way.
Yeah.
Seminal Japanese horror ? Film.
Oh.
Nice. I'll definitely check it out. Is there a reason why you got into this Japanese kick?
It was just I had a bunch of files lying around. So I was like,
Sure.
oh, I was meaning to catch up on this. And once I got through the Kurosawas and the Kobayashis, I was like, okay, what else?
Sure.
And I just wanted, I don't know, I just wanted to lay out a foundation for what is going to be my dissertation on, I don't know, samurai cinema or something. It's gonna,
Oh.
yeah,
Holy crap! That sounds incredible.
Yeah.
Cannot wait to read that.
yeah, it's gonna be. Yeah, I watched a lot of bad samurai films too.
Sure.
Yeah,
It comes with the territory yata.
yeah.
What was the latest Takashi Miike samurai film?
The latest.
Yeah, he did 13 Assassins. They did one right after, which was apparently
he did a
really,
remake of Harikiri, Death of
Oh,
Samurai.
did he? Oh, it was
Yeah.
supposed to be like incredibly violent.
Yeah. He did that also. That anime adaptation, that Blade of the Immortal. I think
Yes, I saw that. That was fun.
that's the
That
violence.
was a lot of fun. That's on Netflix, right?
Yeah, that's on Netflix.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Awesome. Is there anything else you're headed towards aside from your dissertation, your podcast?
No, I don't know. I mean, there's stuff I'm working on, all sorts of stuff, but like I can't really talk about it.
Sure.
Ooh.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
We'll sign the
Yeah.
NDA. Tell us about it. Sorry, lasing na ako.
Love it. Man, I guess we're gonna be kind of wrapping up soon, but
Yeah.
I'm so happy that we finally got to discuss The Descent, because this is when
With
we
Phil.
started this with Phil. Yeah.
Yeah.
When we started this is really one of the first things I really wanted to talk about. I was like so worried that no one would ever
Yeah.
choose it, because I was like, people are
Yeah.
just gonna go for the new movies or like the classics. Surprisingly, people
Yeah.
haven't been going for the classics. But yeah, so I
I'm
was
waiting
so
for
worried
somebody to
no one
recommend
would
The Thing. I
choose-
want to watch The Thing already.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Let's force someone na lang. Do you
No,
like
if
the
it
thing?
hasn't happened in like 20 years, in like 20 more episodes, we're gonna ask Philbert back to do The Thing.
And then Phil
thing is
suggest naman The
incredible.
Thing. Okay, you know what? I'll watch it. I'll just watch it anyway. I'll just watch it.
Yeah,
already.
just watch it.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
not the remake.
Not the remake. No.
Not the remake. Okay.
John Carpenter's The Thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so how about a quick wrap up, guys?
Yeah.
All right.
First of all, let's do a lightning round of your last words on The Descent. I'll kick it off. Yes, one of my absolute favorite horror films, got me back into the genre after a brief hiatus. I'm so happy that I saw it. I'm so happy that Phil chose it, because I really love it, and I'm so happy I got it that this podcast exists. So I got both Aaron and Miguel to watch it.
Yeah.
So super cool. I love the movie. I recommend it to everyone. And if you enjoy it, you should check out Neil Marshall's earlier works.
So on my end, I like the movie because even though you guys thought it was a bleak ending, my takeaway was this chick is a survivor. I am inspired. If I get thrown a bunch of bad shit my way, I'm just gonna keep thinking of Sarah. Dude, Sarah's alive. Sarah lost her family. Sarah was attacked. Her best friend had her husband cheat on her. But look, she's alive. She's alive. So
Now that's a final girl.
that's a final girl. Talaga.
Yeah.
Talaga. So I love it.
Yeah.
Go Sarah. Team Sarah.
Miguel?
On my end, I super enjoyed this movie on many levels. It's a good monster movie that, if you didn't read the Wikipedia entry, would have caught you by surprise. It's also it's really a great character study, not just in the about these individual women, but also as how they relate to each other. Which, since I Wikipedia it nga, I found this aspect more interesting, and so I enjoyed it a lot. I'm glad I saw it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Phil, any last words?
Yeah, The Descent is. I think we have to just go into how people try to qualify things as like, oh, this is a good horror movie. I think the reason The Descent is so great is because it's just a good movie. Take away the creepy crawly monsters, it's still a good movie. Like the relationship dynamics of it work, the fundamentals of it work. Technically, it's beautiful. The sets are great. it's just a good movie that just happens to scare you. And just just watch good movies. It's a good thing.
That's gonna be Phil's new tagline for his podcast.
Yeah.
Watch good
it.
movies.
Is there any merit to watching bad movies? Meron din eh. I would think.
you have to
sure.
know the difference.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
there are
Yeah.
bad movies worth watching. I have just
Yeah.
spent an entire
Name one.
career watching bad movies that aren't worth watching. So
I actually read your
value,
review. I love it. I watched your I read your review on the one of Jake Cuenca.
Oh yeah,
I love that
contradiction.
review. Oh, I love that review
that
so
was a
much.
fantastic review.
Yeah.
Let's never forget the
Okay.
time that a filmmaker once challenged Phil to a fist fight over a review.
Fist fight.
Yeah, that was good
Yes.
times. That was good times.
He threatened. I mean, he
Yeah.
said he had a sword. So I don't know if it
Ooh,
would have been a
samurai.
fight. Yeah,
Hmm? Full circle. Samurai pala siya eh.
yeah.
All right.
Fantastic.
Thanks so much, Phil.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, thank you again for coming on.
Thank you.
Phil, is there
Yeah.
anything you want to plug? Is there anything?
No, I mean, I there's nothing that I can plug right now. I work with Maui on Phil on Films, but we haven't been doing it because there are no films to be on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you can follow me on Twitter at Philbert Dy, and I'm on Letterboxd.
yeah.
You can find me.
Aaron, get on
Letterboxd is
that.
now. Yeah,
Letterbox.
Letterboxd is now my platform. It is where I am read most. Yeah. So there.
Oh, thanks so much, Phil.
No problem.
Dude, thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, I had fun.
Oh, as you can see, this is
Haha,
this
rolling
is
in the
peak-
grass again.
Peak of Phil's 2021.
Yeah.
Nothing will top it
Yay.
I know it's only
it's all
January,
down.
but nothing's gonna top it.
Yeah, it's all downhill for Phil from here on out. Only a vaccine will top it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But it's also
You guys
good to
believe
see
in
you guys,
vaccines?
Aaron, Chris. Oh, whoa. Ito pala yung horror movie. Oh shit.
There's the twist. There's the twist.
Oh shit. Guys, keep recording after Phil leaves. Let's talk about this. All right.
Thank you, everyone.
All right. Good
Thanks
seeing
so
you all,
much,
guys.
Phil.
See ya.
Take care.
Sakto, pero
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Brought to you by Big Baby Studios.